Hello and welcome to this part 6 of creating the .NET MAUI app. And in this lecture, we will add a view and model that lists all nodes. Now, this portion of the tutorial is the final piece of the app, and it will give you a view that displays all of the nodes previously created. So, let's switch over to Visual Studio. Now, this is the product that we have built till part 5, and let me quickly run this. So just to recap what was there that we have learned so far. So in this note page, so this is a notes tab and an about tab, but we are constricting ourselves to the notes tab only. So let me write any note one, and if I click save, and I could delete it and rewrite another note, say note 1 again, note 2, whatever. And then when you save this, this will be saved in a local file. Alright, and this local file is, I can show you quickly by debugging, putting the breakpoint in the save button click, because that is the save button click event that is being triggered. So put it over here. So the file name is, if you click on the view and see the text visualizer, this is available at this path. So a notes.txt file is created at this path, and let's just browse to my file navigation system, and I will show you the notes.txt that is created as a result of clicking on the save button. So I'll take away the notes.txt, and that will browse to my this path, Kaushik Chowdhury app data local packages and com.company.name.notes blah 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 and local state. So this is the notes. So this is showing notes too. So basically this is storing in my file system, and if I click on delete, what will happen? If I click on continue, so it has deleted. Now if you can see that this is deleted from this path. So that's the thing that we have built so far, and let's move on to the next part. Let's continue with our part 6, and we'll be creating some functionalities that will display all of the nodes that is previously created. So accordingly, on the notes application, on the views folder, right click and add new item, and then .NET MAUI and .NET MAUI content page XML, and I will give it a name, all notes page.xaml. So all notes page is created for me, and in the models folder I will add a new class and call this all nodes. Because I don't have any model for the all nodes, and also I had to create an all nodes page in the views folder. Right, now I'll create the all nodes model. So this squiggly line is gone now after correcting that error. Okay, so for coding the all nodes model, I will replace the code that is in the internal class all nodes. It's the model class. I will actually get it from my clipboard just to save a lot of time. So I will just copy over this part, and I will keep on explaining, right? So this is all nodes part is done now. Now in this part, this previous code declares a collection called nodes, and it's an observable collection, and it uses a load nodes method to load nodes from the device. Now this method uses LINQ or link extensions to load, transform and sort the data into the nodes collection. Okay, So this load nodes, firstly you are clearing the nodes observable collection. If it is there already, you are clearing it, and then you are declaring the app folder, getting the folder path where the nodes are stored, file systems dot calling the app directory method, and then you are initializing a nodes of type IEnumerable type, which is nothing but a directory. It is the system.io.directory, and this is a directory dot enumerate files. Okay, there is an extension method enumerable files, which takes the string path, app data path sending, and the file name, and then putting the dot select, chaining another method, and then it is the link query, and it's the lambda expression here. This lambda expression is actually calling the new node and initializing a new node with the file name equals file name, that is given from here, and text is file.read.text and passing in the file name, and then date is file.get last write time and passing the file name, and it is ordering by node.date, ordering it by date. Okay, and then we are calling a for each loop for each node in nodes. In this observable collection, you are adding node to the nodes collection, observable collection. And observable collection will be actually, you can bind an observable collection so that you can, if there is any change in the model, it will reflect it in the UI and vice versa. All right. Next, we will design the all nodes page by changing the template created all nodes page.xaml file from the part that I have got on my clipboard. Again, paste it and start explaining. So the content page dot toolbar items. So here we are adding an item to the toolbar. It contains a property, that is toolbar items. The buttons defined here are usually displayed at the top of the app along the page title. Now, depending on the platform, though it may be different in a different position. When one of these buttons is pressed, that clicked event is raised just like a normal button. All right, and toolbar item dot icon image source, as you can see that there's a font image glyph, and which adds a plus sign with a color black and size 22, and this is actually, it creates an image which you can click to add a note. Okay, so when you click on add with this positive icon, it will actually trigger this event add clicked, which you will see. Now the collections view control, this collections view control displays a collection of items, and in this case is bound to the model's nodes properties. It's bound to the model's nodes property. The way each item is presented by the collection view is set through the collection view dot items layout and the collection view dot item template property. Collection view dot item layout and items layout rather, and collection views dot item template property. So collections view dot items layout, linear items layout, orientation is vertical, item spacing 10, and in the item template you have got the data template, and now the stack layout also. Now there is a label which is actually it is binding with the text property of the nodes model, and there's another label with the text property binding with the text attribute binding to the date property in the nodes model with a text color of silver and the font size of 14. Okay, and the collection view handles the selection changed event. This selection change event is raised when an item in the collection view is selected. Now we'll change the code behind file for the all nodes page .xaml.cs. Next we'll change the code behind for the view, that is the all nodes page .xaml.cs file needs to be changed to load the nodes and handle the events. So I have already opened the all nodes page.xaml.cs. At the time it is only initialize component. Now I will change it with the code that I have got on my notepad. So this will be this code. Now here, this code, get rid of the extra nodes.views. So this code uses the constructor to set the binding context of the page to the model, that is new models.allNodes model. So this page's binding context is set to the allNodes model. The on appearing method is overridden from the base class. This method is automatically called whenever the page is shown, such as when the page is navigated to. When you are navigating to this page from some other page, this on appearing method is triggered or called. The code here tells the model to load the nodes. Now, because the collection view in the all nodes view is bound to the all node model's nodes property, okay, so collection view is bound to the nodes collection, and so the collection view in the all nodes view is bound to the all nodes model's nodes property. So here item source within curly braces binding nodes. So this is an observable connection. This nodes, whenever the nodes are loaded, the collection view is automatically updated. Okay, that's how the observable collection works, and that's why it is used as an observable collection. The add clicked handler introduces another new concept, which is the navigation. Now, because the app is using .NET MAUI shell, you can navigate to pages by calling the shell.current.goToAsync. So that is this code. So it is, when the add is clicked, so this method is triggered, so it will take it to the name of the node page. So this will be navigated to the node page. Okay, so what is node page? Again, go to the definition. So this is the node page. All right. Now this part of the code, that is the last part, nodes collection underscore selection changed. This is the this is also a handler method. This method takes the currently selected item. Selection change even asks E, you're sending, and object is the sender. This method takes the currently selected item, which is a node model, and uses its information to navigate to the node page. So goToAsync uses a URI string. So this is the URI string for navigation. In this case, a string is constructed that uses a query string. And this item ID, it doesn't contain a definition of item ID, so don't worry about this. So this squiggly line will be taken care in the next when we create the query string parameters. Now, okay, this string is constructed that uses a query string parameter to set a property on the destination page. The interpolated string representing the URI ends up looking like this. So dollar within double quotes name of node page. If it is true, then this is node page.item ID, otherwise node page.file name. Okay, node page.item ID is the evaluated value of node.file name. Okay, and then selected item is unselected. Unselect the UI. All right, now let's come to the query string parameters. So the node view needs to support the query string parameter item ID. Now let's create it now. So in the solution, from the solution explorer, we open the notepage.xaml.cs. So notepage.xaml.cs is also open here. So I'll make it active. Okay, so now above this public partial class notepage, which implements content page, I will write this part. Query property. So query property, I'll just come to that in a bit. Query property, name of item ID we'll create, and then name of again item ID. And then that's it. Item ID doesn't exist in the current context, which we'll create. Now we'll create a string here or anywhere we can create this item ID. Let's create the item ID as a property. So it's item ID public property, and it is just getting set by calling the load note method and passing the value. This is the load note method. So now item ID, actually it should be capital I, yeah, and then again capital I. Right, now item ID squiggly lines have been taken care of, and then the save button clicked will be replaced by this code. All right, and also we'll change the delete button click code. So delete button click code will be like this. Already written it. So this was the old code. We'll delete that. All right. So what changes we have made? So we have made the changes that if binding context is models.note, in the models folder it is the note model, and which is an object, the initialization of that note object is note, then file.writeAllText note.file name, and whatever is the text property, whatever is written in that text editor, that will be written to that file. Okay, then await shell.current.go to async. So we take this to the root object, to one level above this. And the delete button click, if again the same condition exists over here, is binding context is models.note again. Then if the file exists, note.file name. Okay, if the file exists, then delete the file, and then go to, then await shell.current.go to async. So the page navigates back to the previous page. It navigates back to the previous page by using a URI of double dots. Okay, now there are lots of tabs open, so let me close all the tabs. Okay, close all tabs. Now next we'll do is the app shell. So app shell.xaml and I will open the code file also. The app shell is still loading the single node page. Okay, so you can see it is shell contain nodes, single node page, but we have got the all nodes page also. So it needs to load the all pages view. So accordingly, I have kept it open, app shell.xaml, and changed the first shell content entry from node page to all nodes page. All nodes page. All right. Now, if we run the app now, we'll notice that it crashes if you press the add button. Now let's run the application to see if it crashes. So let's press the add button and it crashes, unable to figure out the route for the node page parameter URI. So now we have to register this route. We'll stop the application now. And in the app shell class, this CS file, code behind the XAML for the app shell. So after the initialize component, I will add this part. So I will register the route. Because it is within views folder, so views.node page, it's coming. Okay, on my IntelliSense, so that makes life easier. So type of, now this will be type of also. Views.node page. All right, save the application. And the routing.register route, it is the string name of the URI that we want to register. In this case, it is resolved. The resolved name is node page. The second parameter is a type of page to load where node page is navigated to. Now we can run the app. Let's run the app and see the fun. So now the nodes page is open. Now if we click on add, and if you click on save, so these are the 3 nodes. So my added node. Okay, so I can add more nodes. And that is also added. So I can add multiple nodes. Okay, so that's about the end of this series of nodes application in .NET MAUI. So we have used the event-driven approach, although there is another approach which is the model view model method of doing the same thing, but that will come in some upcoming series. All right, and if you have liked this video, if you've liked this series, do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell notification icon and share this channel with your friends. Thank you very much.